Zach Glass here with video journal number 4 for BPT 111, where I'll be discussing defamation and how and why it would affect someone in audio, video, and TV broadcasting. First, just in general, how that would affect someone in that field. If someone on TV, radio, or a website or podcast were to make a damaging and untruthful statement about someone, the person that the statement was made about would have the right to sue them for either libel or slander, or either one of those forms of defamation. Why this would affect someone in those fields is if you were to make that statement, and it could be proven in court that it was untruthful and damaging, either financially or they're damaging their reputation. They could sue you, and they could potentially have a case there. I was supposed to give some specific examples. The first one that came to mind is it's kind of a silly one, but it was the most recent one that I've seen, and it was in the part of media that I really keep a close eye on. The head of Barstool Sports, Dave Portnoy, was recently sued for defamation by a pretty well-known actor and personality who's been working his way into the sports world after he's kind of slowed down on his acting career. His name is Mike Rappaport. He's been in various sitcoms, been in various comedy movies. You would recognize him. Pretty well-known guy. Big New York sports fan. And he worked for Dave Portnoy a few years ago, for a very short period of time. They're two very big personalities. They didn't get along very well. That's why it didn't last very long. They had very heated arguments about really silly things that led to the split from Barstool from Mike Rappaport. What happened was Dave Portnoy, and this is what he's prone to do, he loves making t-shirts about people. He took a design from a t-shirt that he'd been using to make fun of the commissioner of the NFL, where he puts a clown nose on the guy in a black and white rendering of the person's face on a blue shirt, and he sold millions of those referencing Roger Goodell. Well, he did the same thing with his former employee, Mike Rappaport. Put a clown nose on him, but he put little red marks around his lips on the picture, which was not on the Roger Goodell version of the shirt. So, Mike Rappaport took that as Dave Portnoy and Barstool Sports as a whole were alluding that he had herpes. So he sued Dave Portnoy individually for defamation, for trying to allude that he had herpes because of the T-shirt having that little red those splotches around his lips, and it was clearly him in the T-shirt. Last week, I believe, or the week before, a judge threw the case out, said that there's no reason to think that Portnoy put that on the shirt because he was trying to say he had herpes, or that anybody that bought the shirt or looked at the shirt would think that that's what was trying to be portrayed there. Although it was wrongful termination lawsuit is still going forward. That was the other thing the judge said, but that's something completely different. So that actually points to one of the things that were discussed in one of the videos that I just watched. Allusions can still be defamation, and honestly, I could see why the judge threw that out. I get that. It's just little red marks, but I say Portnoy was very lucky that he didn't get hit for that, because I honestly, I knew what it meant. I knew what Portnoy was trying to say. And I've seen both versions of the T-shirt. Had there not been a previous version of the shirt where Roger Goodell's face was the exact same color and had the clown nose on the exact same color shirt, but there were no red marks around Roger Goodell's lips, but then they add that to Mike Rappaport's version, Portnoy was definitely alluding that Rappaport, I guess, had herpes. And if I'm the judge, I don't know if I throw that out. Regarding opinions aren't defamation. And I have another Barstool Sports example. Two of the bigger names at Barstool Sports, PFT Commenter is his name on this program and Big Cat, but Eric and I can't remember the other guy's name, but they have real names. They just don't go by them on the show. They have a very public rivalry with another sports writer that's been working for other companies for quite some time. His name's Darren Rovell, and they routinely tear him apart on their show. But they're not saying anything that could be financially damaging. They say things like, yes, small hands. And they go after him in silly ways. And they say that he probably smells bad, or, he's bad in the bedroom or stuff. Like they hit him like that. Those are opinions, so they're safe on that front. They're not going out and saying he's out there, stalking women, things like that, or that he's out there, stealing from his company, or anything that could financially or, really damage his reputation in the industry. So opinions aren't defamation. Also, you could consider Darren Rovell and Mike Rappaport. Might be why Mike Rappaport's case against Portnoy was thrown out. He's a very public figure. He's been in the spotlight, albeit not, an A-list celebrity, but he's been in the spotlight for quite some time now. And that might have been why I got thrown out, because public figures aren't as protected as private, regular run-of-the-mill people. And then lastly, the truth defense can be a good defense if you can prove that what you said was the truth, but that can be a very expensive offense. As a video said about the WWE doctor and the two wrestlers that said he was not practicing ethically. Last thing I'm going to touch on is the SLAPP law. Some states have SLAPP laws, which essentially protect you from corporate defamation suits, or defamation suits that a group of people are trying to keep you from talking about something that might be damaging to them, that's in a very public, in the public eye, and it's being discussed broadly. So, no, I probably went long again, 7 minutes. I know you kind of alluded to me being long-winded in the last class, so I knew exactly what you were talking about, but I have no other way to do it. So I'll see you in class. Have a good day.